The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is working to make it easier for people with criminal records to find housing.
This action could impact nearly 1 in 3 Americans. HUD initiated a directive earlier this month for staffers to propose ways to make the department's policies more inclusive. They are reviewing potential housing barriers for people with criminal histories and their families. They have 6 months to produce amended documents, including guidelines, model leases, and other agreements.
This move is part of a wider federal effort to advance racial equity. President Biden issued an executive order last year mandating all federal agencies identify potential barriers facing underserved communities seeking access to benefits. Now, roughly 70 to 100 million Americans have criminal records. Black Americans are about 5 times more likely to be incarcerated than white Americans. Joining us now is USA Today's Romina Ruiz-Goiriena. She is the National Housing and Social Services reporter, and she wrote an article detailing HUD's plan. Romina, welcome. First of all, what federal laws or policies are currently in place that make it so difficult for people with criminal histories and their families to secure housing?
Well, we have 2 things that are at play, right? The first one is that in terms of the laws on the books, there are only 3 ways in which you have a lifetime ban from publicly funded programs. And that's if you were found guilty of producing methamphetamines within one of these publicly funded housing places. The second is if you're a lifetime registered sex offender. And the third is a drug conviction. What actually happens and what the reporting has shown is that people who may have any other kind of a criminal record get filtered out in the application process, precisely because the landlords and public housing authorities have so much latitude in how they choose and how they filter through applications.
Yeah, you know, that oftentimes you're asked to check that box. Have you been convicted of a crime? That's just so nebulous and wide-ranging, right? So will HUD distinguish Americans who have committed like less severe crimes from others? And if so, how?
So I think, you know, the directive by Secretary Fudge is precisely to figure that out. If we were to look at, you know, as you said, if we were to look at the people who would check the box, you know, 1 in 3 would have to, and of these 19 million are the ones that have felony convictions. You know, the thing really becomes to address if they pose a risk. And that's what Secretary Fudge is asking HUD to do. Now, the other thing that Secretary Fudge did in the memo was that she highlighted that while people with convictions are not a protected class under the Fair Housing Act of 1968, there is something called disparate impact. And because people of color are, you know, overrepresented in the sample of in the incarcerated community, what happens is that these policies might be discriminating against people of color because of that. So she's highlighting and saying, like, you know, you have to really look at this closely because even if they're not a protected class, you may be violating fair housing laws in and of itself. Yeah,
expand on that a little more. I mean, is it just a matter of being, in terms of people of color, being overrepresented in that population, in the ex-con population?
Well, I mean, I think that we don't have enough time in the segment to kind of cover
issue, right?
It really is.
Why, you know, people of color have been overrepresented. We would have to like encompass 50 years of policy, right? But what we can say is that the facts are that Black Americans are incarcerated at 5 times the rates than whites, and Latinos it's at 1.3. So what that means is, and also with the systemic wealth gap that we have, you know, between people of color and white Americans, what happens is that they are more likely to be the applicants of publicly funded programs. And so they're facing these barriers or coming across these barriers at an increased rate.
Yeah, we should say that HUD is expected to produce more inclusive guidelines and model documents in about 6 months. So we should know more. Romina Ruiz-Goiriena, we thank you.
Thank you so much.